Another day, another Warcraft game, and we have actually a little bit of a special here. Terranas Stand is our map, and we have up to the top left the Cranky Snail, and you already see it in chat. We have an old familiar face back in Warcraft 3. Down to the bottom right, MadQFrog. The MadFrog is back, ladies and gentlemen, and if you don't know who MadFrog is, then you definitely missed out. Back in Reign of Chaos, MadFrog was the undead in Europe. Of course, he's Swedish, because for some reason that I never really understood, I was told that it's really boring there, so that's why everybody plays video games and is really good at it. But it seems like Sweden is the Korea of Europe, and in every single esports discipline that exists, there are amazing Swedish players, and MadFrog is and was one of the best. One of the first players ever to also move to Korea to train there, went there together with Insomnia, and came back and obliterated everyone. Got so good in Korea that he came back and he destroyed everything, and then at some point just dropped it all. Back then esports, of course, not really be an option for if you wanted to make a living. It was very, very difficult to do it, and very few actually followed through with it. He decided to focus on real life, and by now has a job, has, as far as I know, also a family and a son. So there's a lot that passed still, and a lot that happened still since then. But yeah, he's also streaming again on Twitch, and you should definitely check his stream out and leave him a follow if you check this video out. So I'm going to leave the description in the YouTube video so that you get a link there. But we're going to see him in this game. I'm going to check out a couple of his games in the future. The Snail, on the other hand, being a little bit cranky up here to the top, going for an Archmage first. And MadFrog was also one of the players that always liked to play a little bit different. So he's not really the biggest fan of playing Fiends. We've seen him on his stream also occasionally with the Dreadlord as a first hero. In this case, still relying on a Death Knight. But he's always been a fan of playing Ghouls and Gargs. And that is something that you see a lot when he plays against Night Elf, against other races too. So he might play Standard, but he also might throw you the occasional curveball. And that's something that we are going to watch out for in this game as well. For the time being, though, we're having Cranky Snail all at the top making the first move here. And he's the one who immediately starts with the help of a bit of militia to go in and try and drop the first Renegade Wizard here. Mantle of Intelligence, already a fantastic starting item for him. And he gets the Skull of the Beast. Woohoo! Alright, so that isn't really too bad, especially if you're going to try and either defend an expansion or set up a bit of a timing attack. MadFrog, on the other hand, gets some experience by dropping the coil, but in addition to that, we have now also the Forest Troll Shadow Priest, so Dispel available to drop some of the potential ghouls, sorry, not ghouls, but skeletons, of course, that could be put into play with the Rod of Necromancy that MadFrog, as every other undead as well, got right away. So let's see how this is going to be played for him. Graveyard still committed to quite early, so we could see some Fiends here later on the road. We also have an Necropolis now in tech. Pretty typical for an undead player in general to tech very quickly into tier 3. And he tries to harass with the early Death Knight here and attempt, of course, to get some experience for himself, keep the Archmage as low as he possibly can, and steal XP with the DK by getting a few last hits on the coil-in. Already here, again, the two skeletons. Now keep in mind, we are still having Dispel theoretically available, and right now we are actually having a lot of skeleton experience also ending up in the hands of an Archmage that already has level 2. And he found another Mantle of Intelligence. This is really starting to get a bit worrisome. Like, Cranky Snail might be cranky, but he's also quite lucky, at least when it comes to his items. +6 attack damage on the Death Knight, on the Archmage, and in addition to that, an increased mana pool and mana regeneration. And now the play for the expansion here. MadFrog trying to get a little bit of damage here in the meantime. Okay, takes down one peasant, and at least the skeletons can be more of a problem here, but the creep is nearly completed towards the right side as well. And the story continues! The Archmage now with level 3 and Boots of Speed. MadFrog with a level 1 Death Knight, and at this point, I mean, this is a dream come true for a human player. I can try and set up an expansion now. Of course, there's still the problem to be considered that the undead player is going to have a much, much faster tech. Tier 2 nearly completed for him. Is adding now a few Fiends, so starting to play that Fiend game after all. But things are really looking good in terms of items and in terms of position when we are checking out what the Archmage and the Cranky Snail are doing here. Circlet of Nobility. I mean, come on, get the hell out of here. It's starting to get a little bit ridiculous, right? No Ring of Protection +2, no nothing. That guy gets it all. Now going for the Fiend here. MadFrog is going to have a tough time in this game. He gets the coil through and saves the Fiend for now, but the skeletons are falling as they're trying to harass as much as they can against the peasants that are trying to build the town hall here. Double checking the main base shows that at least there's no tier 2 tech just yet for the human player. That's a bit of a saving grace, I'd say, but the transition into Rifleman is already underway as we're seeing that Blacksmith added. The Snail on 36 supply. And in the meantime, MadFrog is looking at 27. So still just playing more of a harass game than anything else. But the tag into the Black Citadel is now running. So very, very quick tag, adding the Lich after the tag. You can play a lot around timing windows when you're playing Warcraft 3. And one of the players is definitely trying to hit a Destroyer timing, for example, if you're an Undead player. Therefore, a very, very quick tag, not even adding the Slaughterhouse or the second hero before he starts with the Black Citadel, adding the Lich afterwards, and the Slaughterhouse will follow in just a moment. But for now, we're seeing those Fiends chased away. The Death Knight trying to be annoying, taking down maybe a peasant or two, but now we're also having that Arcane Tower in here. And also, MadFrog still getting hit quite heavily by those fireballs. The extra damage that comes from the Archmage is of course not going to help either, but right now plus H damage, Boots of Speed still holds on to that scroll, and MadFrog is still level 1 with the Death Knight, whereas the Archmage is on level 3, so the Snail is looking strong right now. Looking very strong here. Attacking into Keep 2 has at this point not really too much to fear. MadFrog even in trouble here at the creep spot. 16 hit points. Close call by him, but he gets the Ring of he gets the Ring of Protection +2. Shitty item after shitty start, but at least the Death Knight hitting level 2 and getting the Unholy Aura now. The Lich is also in play, and that leaves us with another Rod of Necromancy that he just took. When you look into the main base, we also see a nearly completed tech into tier 3. Statues on the way, but more creep happening, and you gotta be shitting me. I mean, at this point, he actually used for the creep the Skull of the Beast, and he gets one of the best items in the game against Undead. He gets the Ruined Braces, so the Archmage is basically nuke safe at this point, and we are seeing him just heavily committed to more creeping. But this is going to be a bit of a creep check, but not in time for this. Another Skull of the Beast. Takes the Skull of the Beast. Probably going to use it. Yes, does, because he doesn't have any inventory left. He gets one fantastic item after another. You need to do something with it, right? But this is costing him still some units. The Water Elemental is down. MadFrog missing the quick coil onto the Fiend, and the force onto the Death Knight Town Portal. Has one clause of attack at least, but he needs to use the Town Portal here as the Archmage gets the extra damage in. 18 thanks to the Skull of the Beast, plus 18 that is. Another item on the ground, destroys the item since he just doesn't have any space in the inventory. The tech into tier 2 is nearly done for the Snail. Ooh, the Death Knight, barely coiling the Lich here. I didn't even realize that MadFrog would go into that fight again, but that could very well cost him now a Fiend. This game is not going well for MadFrog. He's getting just beaten to a pulp here in this early game. That Lich nearly fell, and the Decay barely got the coil in to save his ass. But right now, yep, Lich gets attacked, and oh, the coil comes through. Barely, though. Just a little bit of mana left on the side of the Decay. Has by now at least one potion of healing, but loses another Fiend here. MadFrog is down to a 38 supply, and the cranky Snail is just completely wrecking him here. But he's losing a fair amount of Water Elementals, so that's at least slowly and steadily increasing the experience that we're seeing on MadFrog's heroes. So that's, I guess, something to be happy about. The Archmage himself on level 4, more than that even, nearly 4.5, so way ahead. It's really the tech advantage, if anything, that currently gives MadFrog still some hope in this game, because outside of it, there's not really a lot to show for. With tier 2 now reached and a castle tech immediately started for the Snail, the Mountain King is also about to be completed. Double Arcane Sanctum and a workshop on the way. An expansion too. The Snail sitting at 49 supply, not committing to low upkeep just yet. Still sitting at no upkeep. And still harassing with those units down here. Now again, MadFrog might not have a lot, but he still has a little bit more than that. Not quite sure if the harass is really what you want to look for. Coil comes through. The triple Water Elemental is right there, readily available. I guess the Destroyer upgrade is not through just yet, and yep, that's the case. Or you would have at least gotten one to dispel those Water Elementals. But the Archmage, thanks to the boots and everything else, is still sticking around a little bit longer. Again, water elementals are giving serious XP, and this is why we are seeing exactly that being focused now over and over again. Level 3 finally on the Death Knight. Mountain King comes in though. MK trying to get the kills. Second Stormbolt would be fantastic here, but doesn't just get that yet. But the Mountain King, of course, is still part of the party, and he's going to be looking for some action. Coil Nova onto the Archmage. Keep in mind, he has Rune Bracer, Stormbolt, and the Potion of Healing barely keeping him alive. The Town Portal had to be used by the Archmage eventually, but of course, Lone Rune Bracer is making sure that nukes are highly inefficient now against the first hero on the side of the human player. Commitment towards the shop creep now. MadFrog also has so far not passed the Claws of Attack over. That's definitely something you want to have on your Lich. Those items are highly valuable on ranged heroes in particular. It's a Wand of Illusion here for his efforts. And the creep and of course the experience bring that Lich a bit closer to level 3. By now we're having Destroyers also in play. And that is helping out for sure. Against the Water Elementals, it's going to be huge. I'm actually interested to see if the Archmage is going to retrain eventually. That might be something that we're going to see now. Mountain King, for now, gets the 2 Mantle of Intelligence. Always a little bit torn on that move, to be honest with you. It increases the mana pool of the Mountain King, that's definitely true. And it helps him to get the additional Stormbolt through. But it robs the Archmage of the extra damage that he can put out. So I'm never quite sure what to think of that. Passing the Boots of Speed over, on the other hand, makes a whole lot of sense, since it allows the Mountain King to close the distance to a target a bit more easily and get that additional Stormbolt in. That could be the difference between taking opponent down or letting him escape. So that's definitely something. Staff of Sanctuary in the inventory. We're seeing also MadFrog still at 49 supply, but on the other hand, the Snail with the added income obviously already hitting low upkeep and now being at 71. Also having, thanks to the castle attack, a third hero in-game, and that's the Paladin here. Looks more like we might even see an additional expansion with the commitment to the top right creep. Getting the experience only on the Mountain King right now. Having the Wand of Illusion and the Wand of Wind. It's helping him a bit. Looking down here. Book of the Dead. Items aren't really all that great. I mean, you have a Book of the Dead and you have the Talisman of Evasion. The Book of the Dead might actually do something for you if there are not too many priests around for your opponent. But then again, Talisman of Evasion is something that in a pinch you'll definitely gonna sell. Potion of Greater Healing, on the other hand, is a huge item for the Death Knight, no doubt about that. And on top of it, we're having a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability too. So dropping the Death Knight is going to be an issue. After the initial aggression that we saw from the Cranky Snail, didn't really put too much effort into trying to keep MadFrog away from creep camps. And now the Death Knight is starting to hit that level 4. And I mean, MadFrog is currently still looking at 55 supply, so he really wants to be aggressive there and is starting to move in. Expansion as expected is being built, and here comes the Snail. Starting to move in now with also some flying machines. Archmage moving in. Second flying machine on the way. That army actually getting stuck a little bit in the back, so pretty fragmented here. And trying to pick off some stragglers and reinforcements that are moving in. Stormbolt onto the Ghoul, not quite sure that was the play here. And immediate pressure on the Mountain King. Potion of Greater Healing in his inventory, though. Gets used right away. And here comes another Coil Nova. Good surround with the Book of the Dead, but the Staff of Sanctuary is being used to keep him alive. The pressure on the Death Knight as he moves away. And the Lich hitting level 4 in the fight. Putting the point onto the Knight here. And of course, now the Paladin also in a bit of trouble. Gets hit time after time again here. Accesses the Arcane Ball. Just barely the Nova. The Coil. But no kill against the third hero. Again, the pressure against the heroes here continuously, but the Paladin still there. Needs to retreat though, nearly falling. Mountain King not back just yet, needs to wait with the Staff of Sanctuary. And we have a Knight falling. More experience for MadFrog. Double Destroyer coming in, dispelling Water Elements one time after another and getting that extra energy for the Orb. Mountain King not on 3 yet, that's another big problem here. And they immediately getting nuked here. Getting a potion, getting the heal from the Paladin, but so much pressure from MadFrog right now. And he has 2-3 statues in the back with the heals and the mana support, but both of the heroes are low now. And of course the superior number still on the side of the human player. MadFrog on 53 supply, 1,000 gold, going for that MK, nearly getting that kill, but not quite able to pull it off. The Snail with good micro, 72 supply for him, but he just can't get that experience that he needs to get his heroes a little bit higher. He needs that 3 on the Mountain King and on the Paladin. Finally the MK falls, and the Paladin is not looking too hot either. Again, pressure coming through, and the snail in trouble all of a sudden. Nothing that he can do against this. He never hit that critical mass of flying machines that would help him to deal with those destroyers. He doesn't quite have the anti-air that he needs. He needed to get the amount of flying machines to allow himself to shredder through those destroyers, but they were picked off one time after another. And he also has a huge commitment, by the way, to economy supply, to peasants in particular, so his army supply is rather low here. Never hitting level 3 for the Mountain King to get access to that level 2 Stormbolt or the level 2 Holy Light with a Paladin was another big problem. And now MadFrog gets just experience after experience. The Lich on 5, the Death Knight trying to hit the next level as well. Him taking down those ground units and eliminating the heroes really done the trick for MadFrog. His advantage was the entire time that he had the superior heroes and the superior tech, and he's playing it really well. The expansion down here, on the other hand, just as it goes through, doesn't get too much. Statues trying to rejoin with the army. MadFrog trying to set up another base down here as he realizes he's never going to get the mining out of this haunted gold mine. The Undead player still destroying the expansion here in the middle of the map, but towards the top right, that's another one mining as is, and that might be the one that the snail is going to be willing to fight for. But it's definitely a bit of a weird situation for him, no doubt about that. Mine goes down, but what about the flying machines? Now we're looking at a solid number. Has the flying machines, has the ground unit, 74 supply against 60. But MadFrog still has the gold. He has 1,300 gold. He's low on wood though. He doesn't really have a lot there. He committed quite a few ghouls to the attack earlier. And I don't think he ever bought a shredder, but let me double check there. No, he has a single ghoul on wood. That doesn't help him. He definitely needs more than that. He needs more ghouls here, for sure. But he's getting that expansion up here, isn't he? Are we going to see that town portal? The human player is just sitting tight and saying, like, you know what, let's play this slow. Let's get enough flying machines to deal with the destroyers. But a big problem for him was that he is now willing to sacrifice 2 bases before he goes into a big fight. And earlier, he committed heavily to the defense here, even though he just didn't have the crucial number of flying machines, and he didn't have the levels on the heroes just yet. If he would have just avoided fighting there for a bit longer and try and amass more flying machines to deal with the destroyers, get those heroes onto level 3, that would have been a very, very different game. But him trying to go for that 3rd base was also a bit of an issue. And talking of base, MadFrog, again, with another attempt to get a base set up to get the additional income here. Both of them are mining from a single base so far. And now we're having more ghouls for MadFrog, so he's really trying to get the gold here. He has a big army here, heavily focused on destroyers, obviously. No upgrades for his units whatsoever. The Death Knight is on level 5, the Lich 2, Coil Nova are going to be on 3, and the Archmage on the other side might be safe thanks to the Rune Bracelet, but that doesn't quite apply to the Paladin, who at least has the Divine Shield, but keep that Mountain King in mind. He's going to be a priority target, and here comes the attack now. And here go the flying machines in the immediate move back. MadFrog using the panic button, saying, yeah, this isn't happening. I'm not going to do anything against this many just yet. I need to play this slow. And down here, another necropolis is being built. Up to the top right, we have one more. No gold mine being haunted. That's a big one. And we're having the human player trying to get an expansion down here. So it's really just trying to ring around a rosy across Terranistan, trying to play a little bit of whack-a-mole. Take one expansion down whenever it pops up, try and expand as well in the meantime. Mountain King on 3 with its Stormbolt on 2 can really make the difference though in those fights now. And of course the Paladin as well. Also keep that aura in mind. Finding the true shot aura here, Laria's Flute of Accuracy, is definitely going to have an impact in these fights. It is going to help you a lot with this. But MadFrog is now starting to also get a much bigger army into play. 68 supply for him, and now he finds the expansion down here too. So he's going to try and fight for this one. And now we are all of a sudden looking at 2 players that are nearly even in supply. That advantage in income that the snail had earlier is gone as well, and he's trying to go for it again. One destroyer going down. Here comes the Stormbolt, and it hits the Death Knight. Keeping those flying machines a little bit farther off right now. A Holy Light also follows right away. And we're still seeing to the top right. Is that only a scout? Yeah, that's a Wand of Illusion and nothing else. But down here, this expansion has been spotted too. But there's no income for MadFrog. He doesn't have the income. And the snail does by now and gets another unit for its effort. Good Stormbolt goes in, takes that down, and still has a few peasants that mine. Not too many, only 2, so he needs to saturate that base if he really wants to have some solid income that he can utilize. MadFrog is sitting at 70 supply at this point and is starting to run low in gold, whereas we're having 72 for his opponent. But as it happens, there's only 1,700 gold over here. Very few peasants in the game, trying to get a few back, but that necropolis is down. Now, right now, it would make sense to maybe play this a bit slow if you're the human player, but he tries to apply the pressure here, tries to go especially for that front line now. 2 abominations, 3 aboms. Can he take those down? Already using the Wand of the Wind, trying to deny the coil, and tries to drop the abom. 1 down, and the immediate level up for the Archmage, who has hit level 5 at this point. Level 3 water elementals now in play. Good clap into the backline Fiends, but the coil Nova onto the Mountain King gets the heal though. The Death Knight just barely getting that potion of invulnerability used. Has still the potion of greater healing here, but the Mountain King needs to be careful. Is down already, even as I say it. Here comes the level up for the Paladin. He hits level 4. The Holy Lights are coming through the entire time here. Cranky Snail at 62 supply against the 54 that we're seeing from MadFrog. Coil coming through. Again, the Holy Light on the Death Knight needs to retreat here. 3 abominations left in the backline as most of those flying machines are now gone as well. And MadFrog just running away with his DK. Coil level 3 has the Unholy Horror on level 2, so he has that speed bonus and he's going in once again. The DK about to fall and he goes down. MadFrog not paying attention here as the Lich hits level 6 and we're seeing the human player retreat with barely the core army. 51 supply for MadFrog, 46 for Cranky Snail, but the Snail still has mining. The Snail is mining from the bottom left and has a few more in up to the top left too. Used the Staff of Sanctuary a bit earlier. Destroyers are now roaming the map, going to the tavern, helping to revive the Death Knight, and that is definitely the big difference here right now. Without the Mountain King, this is going to be a huge nuisance. You have the Brilliance Aura here, you have the Paladin, but can you really take those down? Holy Light, time after time being used, but the Paladin is about to run out of mana, and already the Snail is starting to retreat here. MadFrog has the numbers, no question. 54 against 48, big round army here too. But what about the Mountain King? Once we have the triple hero in play, is that gonna be enough? The Unholy Aura, on the other hand, allows MadFrog to chase, and that's exactly what he's doing. Starting to chase the bottom here. Immediately the Nova, slowing the Paladin down even more. Staff of Sanctuary being used. But that opens up the attack towards the expansion at the bottom left right now. And the Snail is going to lose this income here. Down to the top right, there's only a Necropolis. There's nothing else. There's no mining happening. MadFrog is out of a gold mine in the main base. He doesn't have anything here. He can unsummon, but that's it. There's another 1,000 gold left for the Snail. Triple hero alone would be huge. Can you imagine that Archmage hitting level 6? Mountain King on 3 if you keep that alive as well. There are 3 heroes, and with the Brilliance Aura, that's going to be a lot of mana if you get that eventually. If you look at the army, there's only 1 statue for MadFrog. If that falls, it's going to be huge as well. Spellbreaker, Scouts. The only one that you can't nuke with the Coil Nova. And we have still some knights in play, and those water elementals are doing work. I mean, yes, you have destroyers, but you also... I'm not quite sure if really building more flying machines would be the play here for him. I really feel the heroes are going to decide this one, and if you can get that hit in, keep in mind there's no items left anymore. Coil Nova, Ruined Bracers, you won't be able to get that Archmage anytime soon, but he's trying. He's trying to drop him right now. Huge damage output here. Once again, Divine Shield being used by the Paladin. Level up for the Death Knight. Hits level 6 as we speak, and the statue is down. That's the sustain. That's the statue, and this could actually be the end of it. If he snipes those units, if he gets a little bit more time, the human player might just make the play here. But we're having now still a huge army for MadFrog, and he's trying to use it. But look at those abominations. They're suffering, and they're suffering a lot. MadFrog with the coil, keeping one of the abominations alive. Of course, the Disease Cloud helping out too. Good staff against the knight, but now on cool heroes, and that Paladin needs to be careful. Out of mana already, the coil is hitting, and it's hitting hard, and they're trying to go for it, and there's the Nova. Can't staff the Paladin, and that's the end of him, and MadFrog might just do it here. Body blocking the Archmage, trying to focus him again, and the old man on the horse nearly falls and finally goes down, and this is the end of it. MadFrog gonna take this game as only the Mountain King survives and is able to win the game on Terra Nostania. Coil Nova for the win, and this this is GG as MadFrog takes the victory and takes down the cranky snail. Great game by him. And again, I'm gonna link his stream also in the description. You can always check him out on Twitch. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. Thanks for watching and see you guys next time.